Hi everybody, my name's Lara. I'm a dual Canadian British national and I moved to British Columbia, Canada from the UK in November 2022 with my husband and our 2 dogs, and we're absolutely loving every minute of it. We love our life out here so much. I upload YouTube videos every Monday and Friday just documenting our day-to-day life here in Canada and helpful tips on moving from the UK to Canada and just our general process and how we moved from the UK to Canada ourselves. For today's video I wanted to share the reasons why we love our home of Penticton, British Columbia. And the name Penticton actually translates to a place to stay forever, and that's just so true for us. This is our forever home. We're going to be here for the rest of our lives. We just absolutely love it here so much, and I want to share just 10 reasons why we do love it so much here. So in previous videos I've explained how I spent quite a lot of my childhood here in Penticton because my granny lived in Oliver, which is a smaller town about half an hour drive from Penticton. So our trips over to Canada when I was a child involved a lot of time being spent in Penticton, and obviously that's a big reason how I know Penticton as a place and was a big reason towards why we chose it. But I want the format of this video to be a little bit different. I want this to be more of a structured points video on why we love Penticton as opposed to that kind of more personal reason. So let's get started on why I love this beautiful place so much. Number 1 is the weather. The weather here in Penticton and in the Okanagan Valley in general is brilliant. The winters are much more mild compared to a lot of Canada, and in the summer it gets so hot. I mean, it's known to be in the 30s, higher 30s, sometimes 40s, pretty much every day in the summer. And it's very dry out here, it hardly ever rains. Now I want to keep this video positive, but obviously a big downside to it being so dry out here is the forest fires. I know that forest fires are a massive problem here in the Okanagan and in BC in general. I don't know about the other provinces because I've only really visited BC and the Banff side of Alberta. So this is just from my experience in BC. But I know that they're a big issue here and they're very serious, and I just wanted to mention them, but I want to keep this video positive. So yeah, I love the weather here in Penticton, but the dryness that causes the forest fires is obviously not a good side of the weather. Number 2 is the wineries. My husband Richard and I both absolutely love wine. We love going on a wine tasting, and the Okanagan Valley is a wine lover's dream. Oliver, the town that my granny lived in, which is about a 30-minute drive from here, is actually the wine capital of Canada. And here in Penticton we have the Naramata Bench, which is a scenic road with a lot of wineries on, and they all have these amazing patios with these stunning views out onto Okanagan Lake. And you can sit there and do your wine tasting. A lot of them will allow you to bring in a picnic, and just having access to all these amazing wineries, not just here in Penticton but in the whole Okanagan Valley. We feel so grateful to have them just on our doorstep. And honestly, the Okanagan wine and wine in Canada, I've not tried wine from that many other regions, mainly just the Okanagan, but it's world class. It honestly is so good and so underrated in the rest of the world. And yeah, just to have access to that all and to be able to taste all these amazing kind of wines that these wineries are making is just brilliant. We absolutely love that. Number 3 is things to do. So I mentioned previously the weather and that it gets very hot here in the summer, and obviously because it gets so hot in the summer it definitely is a big summer spot. But there's also lots of things that you can do in the winter as well. We have Apex Mountain Resort, which is about a 40-minute drive from Penticton, and then there's also Baldy Mountain Resort, which is about an hour and 15-minute drive. So if you're into skiing or snowboarding, these are great spots. Maybe if you don't ski or snowboard, you can just go up to the little villages that they have and see all the log cabins. They've got good restaurants and bars and places up there. But you know, because we do have milder winters here, you are able to just be out and about a little bit more and walk around town, take your dogs for a walk, that kind of thing. Whereas where it's super cold, you kind of just want to stay indoors. And then yeah, summer activities. I mean, we're situated between 2 lakes, so we have Scarha Lake at one end and Okanagan Lake at the other end. So in the summer you could have a beach day at either of these 2 lakes, go out in the water on the 2 of these lakes. And we have our channel float here in Penticton, which is also known as the Lazy River, and you basically float from Okanagan Lake and down to Scarha Lake. It takes about 2 hours and you just chill out on your floaty all day, grab a couple of drinks, friends, and and just have a lazy sunny day floating on the channel. But there are things to do here all seasons. Number 4 is the farmers market. In Penticton we have a farmers market that starts up in spring and runs through till late summer, and it happens every Saturday, and there's a ton of vendors at the market, and it's a great place to go to get all types of things. You know, as an example, you could get a load of fresh produce, there's handmade soaps, good quality olive oils. They also have loads of street food vans that you can buy food from, and you just get such a nice community feel when you're walking through the farmers market on a Saturday morning. We haven't had access to it since we moved here because it's not open during the winter months, but we have visited it before and we really can't wait for it to reopen in the spring. Number 5 is lake life. As I mentioned before, Penticton is situated between 2 lakes, Scarha Lake and Okanagan Lake. So lake life is a very big thing out here. Whether you want to jet ski, kayak, paddleboard, go out sailing on your boat, all of that is available to you here. Number 6 is hiking trails. We love Penticton because of the hiking trails that there are available to us here in Penticton and also in the surrounding areas of the Okanagan Valley. We're very much outdoorsy people, which is why Penticton is such a great spot for us. The amount of hiking trails available to us here is great, and we're really looking forward to the spring where it's not quite so icy and snowy to really get out and explore these. A big route here in Penticton is the Kettle Valley Rail Trail, which is a former railway line with stunning views over Okanagan Lake and the valley. And people can either hike or cycle this route, and it's also a popular route for wine tastings, as there's lots of wineries that you can stop off on the way and just jump back on your bike and continue the Kettle Valley Rail Trail. So that's something we're really looking forward to doing when the weather warms up a little bit. 7 is the breweries. So I mentioned Penticton having lots of wineries earlier, but we also have a lot of breweries here in town too. Now, I'm not much for beer drinking myself, my husband Richard is, but the breweries here just have such a great vibe, and they're nice to go into and have some lunch and a couple of drinks, and a lot of them do the beer tasting flights like you would have with wine here as well. I've also noticed that quite a few of them have live music as well, which is also just really nice. Number 8 is the restaurants. We have so many amazing restaurants here in Penticton, and still so many that we need to try and discover. Some of our favourite restaurants here include Theo's Greek Restaurant. They provide authentic Greek food in the cutest little setting. The restaurant interior is so nice and cozy. We absolutely love it there. It's so nice. Elma on Lakeshore Drive is another favourite of ours. They serve Turkish food with a view onto Okanagan Lake, and they're very aesthetically pleasing inside. You pick a load of plates and share those together. Oh my god, the food there is so good. We absolutely love it. In the spring and summer months, Patio Burger on Lakeshore Drive opens up, which is, as the name suggests, a lakefront patio restaurant that serve burgers and cocktails in a casual setting. And it's honestly so nice to go and sit there in the summer on a hot day with an ice cold cocktail, having a great burger after you've just been on the beach. And because it's lakefront and on the beach, once you've finished having your food and drinks, you can just head back out on the beach and on the lake. Another restaurant that we love here is the Hooded Merganser, which sits right on Okanagan Lake. In the summer, you can just sit out on the patio and soak in all the views and activities going on in Okanagan Lake. It's so nice and so chilled. I could honestly go on and on mentioning restaurants that we love here, but I'll leave it at that for now, otherwise we'll be here for a long time. But yeah, we've still got so many to explore and try as well. So yeah, the restaurants here are brilliant and a very big reason why we love Penticton. Number 9 is the people. We love Penticton because the people here are just so nice. I know it's said so often, and you hear it so often, that Canadian people are so friendly and polite and nice. And from all of my own personal experiences, I find this to be so true, and it's no less true here in Penticton. Everyone is just so friendly here. We've not had any bad experiences with anybody here, and something we're really hoping to do here in Penticton, and I'm sure we will, is to make some good lifelong friends. And yeah, we love the people here in Penticton. They make us feel so welcome for sure. Number 10, and my last point for today, is the small town feel and the slower pace of life. Coming from the UK, where we both commuted into London, we were very much used to that busy hustle bustle lifestyle, and this is something we both really didn't like at all. and we didn't like being in the big city of London. Here in Penticton we are classed as a city, but we definitely have more of that small town feel, which we just both absolutely love. Traffic doesn't exist here, it's like impossible to be late for anything. We aren't completely crammed in like we were in the UK, and especially when we were working in London. Our commute here is 6-minute drive, whereas in the UK it was an hour and 15 minutes. And we just generally have a much slower, chilled out pace of life here. It's not super busy and frantic here like we were used to working in London, and even in Southend it was a lot busier. Here in Penticton our population is about 35,000 people, whereas Southend, where we lived before, had a population of about 318,000, I think. So a big difference in the number of people, and just that general busy, crammed in kind of feeling. We don't get that here. And then obviously just kind of the last point again, the locals here are just so friendly. We feel so welcome here. A lot of people in London don't like tourists, you know, like, because people in London are just trying to get to work and stuff like that, so they get really annoyed. Whereas here in Canada, obviously we speak a little bit differently, and we just don't feel like that's held against us. Like, people are so friendly and welcoming here. And Penticton just has that nice, friendly, small town kind of feel, and we honestly, we love it here so much. And we can't believe that we get to call it home. We feel so blessed and so grateful that we get to live here, we really do. And that's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting. If you'd like to see more Canada content, then please consider subscribing and also following my other social medias, which will be listed below. I'm Lara, this is Our Life in Canada, and until next time, take care. Bye!